Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome everybody to the Back to Basics AI Crash Course. It's part of the AI Learning Lab brought to you by the AI Salon, or as we like to call it, the AI Salon. It's French. Hair. Oh, yeah, look at that. Producer Brandon helping with the coiffure. So I'm really excited about tonight. So if you're new here, welcome. If you've never used AI before, that's okay. If you think that you have to be some sort of super brainiac to use it, you don't. Are there things to learn? Is there craft to learn? There's absolutely things to learn and craft to learn. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight is kind of what I would consider, is it an advanced way to use AI? What I'm going to show you tonight is how you start to use AI when you play with it long enough and you play with enough tools and you start to internalize what those tools can do. You get to a place with AI where you can start to navigate between tools in service of a single project. And those tools might not all be AI tools, right? One of those tools might be a whiteboard in your office. You're like, I got this idea. Let me go to ChatGPT. No, wait. You know what? Let me go to the whiteboard. Let me get my thoughts out. Now I can go to ChatGPT and ask a decent question. Oh, and then that gives me something. And now, that gives me an idea to go over here and use that tool. How do you do that? How do you start to become nimble with generative AI tools is what we're going to talk about tonight. And that's what I call chain of craft. The chain of events when you stitch a number of tools together in service of a project, where you bring your intentionality and you bring your expertise and you bring your taste and you bring your judgment. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you haven't been here, night 1 this week was about why AI is a big deal. Night 2 was about ChatGPT and all the stuff you can do with it. It is overwhelming in how deep that well is, and it's going to get deeper when ChatGPT 5 comes out. Looks like it might be next Tuesday, the 5th, or not. Doesn't really matter. Last night was all about creativity. It was about creative tools, but ultimately, in the end, what people had questions about was the creative process. Can I be creative with AI? The answer is yes. Don't I have to be artistic to be worthy of using these AI creative tools? No, you don't. What you do have to do is bring yourself and your point of view and the stories you want to tell and the things you want to produce, and then let the tools do what the tools do. And if all of a sudden you're better at creating images than you used to be, great. AI is an amplifier, gets to amplify your ideas. All right. Okay. So let me flip over to, if you could pull up the screen right there, Brandon. So tonight is Chain of Craft, and I've got the little subtitle there. What the heck is that? So I'm just gonna leave that on screen for a second here, and then I leave that up for about, I don't know, a minute or so, Brandon, and then just go full screen because we're gonna do a little story time. We're gonna do a little storytelling right now. If you're an irregular, you've probably heard some version of this story before. If you're new here, my background, a lot of times people come into the AI Learning Lab and they're like, sir, what are your qualifications? And they want to know, did I go to MIT or did something like that? I have a fine arts degree in acting. And so I'm going to talk to you about acting training as a metaphor for what we're going to do tonight. And to set up kind of what you're going to watch me do in 5 or so minutes. So when I was in high school, I did plays and, I won some awards and they're like, you're talented. You should go do this acting thing. And And I was smart. I thought, I'll go get a computer science degree and then I can do acting on the side. And then I went into my first computer science thing and they showed me an IBM mainframe and COBOL programming. And they're like, this is going to be your life. And I'm like, I'm going to go change my degree to acting. so I've always been my brain has always been an art and science kind of brain. But I went to acting school. And when I remember on the drive up to Penn State, I went to Penn State. I remember on the drive up to the main campus at Penn State thinking, what do they actually teach you in acting school? Like, what do you actually learn? And it took me a while to figure it out. But what they teach you in acting school is they teach you all these skills and tools. And so like one of the classes I had was voice 101, how to use your voice. And so we go in and the voice teacher, he had this very affected speech and he spoke in this very bizarre way. And he said, we're going to do things like we're going to get rid of all your accents. And I was from central Pennsylvania and I was like, well, I don't have an accent. You don't need to fix my accent. I don't have one. Of course I did, right? Everyone's got some regional dialect. And so they would teach you how words are broken down phonetically and how to move your mouth to say them in what was called standard American pronunciation, which is like just this neutral pronunciation. So you strip it all down so that you can add back on if you want to do a character, if you want to do someone from a region. They would teach you how to do those. And here's the vowels you change. So that was just one. Then I'd go to movement class and they teach you how to hold your hands and how to breathe and how to relax and lower your shoulders and walk across the room and not look like a weirdo. And it was every single class was, it made you really self-conscious. It was this, you were analyzing every aspect about everything you did. And it's a 4-year program. And so like year one was just like, you've got all this weird crap you do. We're going to break that all down and break you down to neutral. And then you spend the next 2 years sort of building back on skills on top of that neutral place. And then year 4, they teach you to forget the tools. They teach you to forget the tools. You use the tools to prepare, to understand what's possible, to understand that there's a difference between sitting like this and sitting like this. There's a difference when a king walks on stage. This is one of the favorite things I ever learned in acting school. Michael Connolly taught us this. He was a professor and he played King Lear. And at one point, he's on stage, and he goes to sit down, and there's no chair behind him. And he doesn't pause. He doesn't do anything. He just starts to sit. And a bunch of actors broke character, and like said, "Hey, you're gonna fall." And he goes, "No!" He was super passionate. He goes, "I'm the king." He said, if you're a king, if you're playing a king and you have to sit, you don't look back. You just start to sit because you're the king and you assume that before you fall on your ass, there's going to be a chair underneath you, right? So you learn all these things. You learn all these tools, all these tactics. It's very similar to AI. You go to Midjourney and you learn these stupid codes and you used to make images a certain way and now you make them different there, and it doesn't exactly give you what you want. And in early days with Stable Diffusion, the tools were all like this, and you were trying to learn that, and you're trying to learn ChatGPT, and then you learn what hallucinations are. You learn all these tools, and when you first start using them, it feels awkward. It feels like they took your accent away. And now you talk in this weird way and you don't know what to do. And you don't know what to do with your hands because now all of a sudden you're aware that you have hands. And that's what it feels like. But there's something really remarkable if you practice long enough, if you just keep playing. One of the reasons in the AI Salon we talk about play first is that in playing, you get comfortable with the tools. You get comfortable switching between this tool and that tool. You might be in ChatGPT and you're like, ooh, that gives me an idea for something to do over in Midjourney. And then you go over there and you play with that. And it starts to become second nature. So just like in acting, all of the tools they taught me are in my body now. And when I want to go on stage and I want to connect with someone with intention, even if someone in the audience sneezes or their phone goes off, I can be in the conversation, right? Because I've got the tools to be able to manage that. Same thing with AI. So tonight, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do kind of a chain of craft thing. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to put down a list of things here. You don't need to read these. You can screenshot them when they're done. But I'm likely not going to follow these to the letter of what I put together here. So what I put together is a chain of things that we're going to do. But I'm just going to kind of wing it. And what it's going to look like is a bit like chaos. But it's going to be a kind of chaos that if you go to a really good improv show, where you've got good improv actors on screen and someone from the audience, shouts out an idea and then they just act the scene out as if they've always been those characters and they knew exactly what lines to say. And you're like, holy crap, how do they do that? They do that with hours and hours and hours and hours of craft, right? And so what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to start with a single idea, which is we're going to come up with an idea for an app. And then we're just going to go, we're going to develop the app, but we're also going to develop a whole world of stuff around it. We're going to develop a marketing plan, and we're going to develop a look and feel of the app, and we're going to maybe program the app, and we're going to, come up with visual identity stuff. We're going to write a marketing brief. We're going to come up with a name for the app and a tagline. And I'm just going to do it as this stream of consciousness kind of thing. So my request is, if in watching me sort of flip between these different tools and things like that, you're like, oh my God, I can never do that. No. If you're just new to this AI stuff, these tools make our computers act in ways that we've never experienced before. They're weird. It's weird to be able to type in, hey, I want you to write me a Shakespearean sonnet about spark plugs. And then there it is. That's not normal. And so every time you start playing with one of these new tools, it is going to throw you. And I'll tell you when it'll throw you the most. It will throw you the most when you are playing with a tool that's very close to something that you know. Right? So if you're an illustrator and you start playing in Midjourney, it's going to be very disconcerting. If you're a data analyst and you go into ChatGPT and you upload a spreadsheet and you watch this thing write Python scripts and analyze data and generate charts and graphs in a matter of minutes that would have taken you a week, it's very disconcerting. And so my request would be just kind of like hang tonight. Just watch what's going on. Feel free to take notes. Feel free to take screenshots. Brandon, as I'm going through here, as I change tools, he'll pop up on screen what tool we're using and what the URL is. Okay? And so pop up the chain of craft screen here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask ChatGPT for some app ideas. Then we're going to pick one. And then we're going to have it give us 4 variations. Then I think I'm going to head over to perplexity and research the app idea that we came up with. Let's figure out who the competitors are. We'll define the core product, maybe a product spec. Then we'll go to Lovable, which is one of those vibe coding apps, and we'll tell it to make the app or make some version of the app. Then maybe we'll go to ideogram, or maybe do it in ChatGPT, come up with a logo or an icon, an app icon, things like that. Then I figure we'll go to GenSpark and we'll do a pitch deck, and then we'll write a marketing brief. Then we'll write some marketing copy. Then maybe we'll make some ads. I don't know how far we're going to get, and I may not follow this exactly. I will likely sort of bounce back and forth between what I'm doing, in AI tools and this thing, just to keep on track. I actually hesitated writing this down because I'm probably not going to follow it. One of the nicknames of this channel is Chat ADD. ADD is a kind of superpower. Once you start to internalize these AI tools and understand, what different ones do, it's really easy to bounce ideas around all these different tools, and it's kind of magical. But even if you don't have ADD, you can get quite nimble with this stuff, and you can get quite powerful and quite broad. Think across disciplines, and it can be really exciting. All right. So with that, any questions before I start? Feel free to pop in. I'm going to look at the comments right now. If anyone has any questions right now before I start on anything I just talked about. Is chain of craft clear? Is it clear what I'm talking about? Okay. So we're just going to start. So let me go grab the prompt. By the way, how I wrote all these prompts, see all these prompts that I have on screen? Do you know how I wrote all these? I didn't. ChatGPT did. I went in and edited them because most of them sucked. But instead of me having to type, okay, give me 10 original web app ideas that solve a meaningful problem for, all right, shout out, put in the comments a target audience. Like, who's going to use our app? Is it going to be gardeners? Is it going to be plumbers? Is it going to be small business people? Is it going to be executives? Is it going to be fat people? Or sorry, weight challenged people? I don't even know what you're supposed to call those people. Crocheters. I like crocheters. Elderly that need to exercise. Okay, this is good. Okay, a meaningful problem for the elderly in the area of, we could do balance, we could do, wait, what do we have? Geeky Collectors. Oh, I like Geeky Collectors. Let's do Geeky Collectors, because I feel like elderly is going to run us down some typical paths. So like things that feel predictable. So let's do geeky. I like even describing it like that. Geeky Collectors in the area, collectors in the area of, we could do buying and selling. We could do procurement. We could do marketing. We could do. Let's do in the area of growing their collection. Okay, so we're not picking a specific thing. We want ChatGPT to give us this. So here I'm gonna modify this already. I'm gonna say, I want you to come up with, oh, this is good. Wait, so already off the bat, note here what's happening. I could just say, I want an app for crocheters to be able to crochet better or whatever. And then it would give me some answer. But what's already starting to happen is, because of your input, I'm starting to have ideas about how I want to narrow the focus of this thing. All right. So Geeky Collector in the area of their collection, I want you to research the top areas of collecting in the past 5 years. And I'm going to change over to O3, which is a reasoning model. The reason I'm doing that, okay, if I were just going to have this write a piece of copy or something short, I'd use 4.0. But I actually want this to go out and do some research, and I want it to think about it. I want it to analyze the research that it finds. So I'm switching to an advanced reasoning model here. I could use these other two, O4 Mini, O4 Mini High. I don't really care. O3 is good. It's really good. Okay. I want you to research the top areas of collecting in the past 5 years and the specific demographic for the top 10. And I want an app for each audience that will surprise and delight them. Okay, so you see what we're doing here. ChatGPT at this point we haven't even started yet. And I can tell just by writing this prompt, it's going to do really good at this. So we're going to go into tools here. We'll turn on web search in case it's not obvious. We told it to do research, but in case it's not obvious, we can turn it on. And then bang, off we go to the races. So now this is normally what I do when I demo these kind of things is I'd say, just give me 10 ideas and it'll vomit out 10 ideas. And then I pick one and then we go from there. One of the things I talk about, and I talked a lot about on night one, was this idea of there's kind of two major ways that you can use AI. One is you can sort of treat it like it's the genius and it's off to the side. And it's going to do your work for you, and at some point it's going to replace you. That's a way you can use it, right? Give me some app ideas, and it spits out the app ideas. And then you're like, okay, I'm done here, right? It's like this your critical thinking is not engaged. The way we're doing this here, and the way what I would encourage you to think about AI is not the first stop. It's the second stop. You're the first stop. What's your idea? If you don't know, you can have ChatGPT help you come up with it. But like, you're the one in charge, right? AI is the backpack with the jet engine in it that's going to help you. But you're the one flying the jet engine. It's a huge difference. I talk about feed your prompt. If you feed your prompt, AI will give you superpowers, okay? All right, so this thing is off searching, valued collection. I think we can open this up. So it says the user wants 10 original app ideas. First, I need to identify. If you haven't seen the way these reasoning models work, this is the conversation it's having with itself right now. Look at all this stuff. So all I said was go research this stuff. We're going to do these app ideas, right? So to provide 10 requested meaningful app ideas, I need to gather data on the top collecting areas in the past 5 years. I'll focus on things like trading cards, sneakers, vinyl records, and more. I'll also identify blah, 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 blah. Then it went and searched the web. Then it says, I found some search results. Then it says, I'll search for StockX trends. I don't know what that means. On buyer demographics. And then, StockX sneaker. There you go. And then it's going out and searching some more sites. I have some sources, but it looks like I still need more. So this is doing work for you. Do you know how long it would take you as a human being to just navigate to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Or no, yeah, 8. 8 sites here. I don't know, 5 plus 5, 10 sites here, right? just navigating to the sites, much less reading them, much less taking notes on them, much less compiling what's going on. All right, it's still going. This is a good one. I'm glad we did this one because it's digging in, right? We didn't even hit deep research. If you wanted to do deep research, it'll dig even deeper. I'm organizing the information into categories for clarity: sneakers, trading cards, vinyl records, Lego, AFOL, adult fans of Lego. Love that. Funko Pops, popular with kid-adults, millennials, and Gen Z. Comic books, retro video games. There we go. I'm thinking about where to finish off the list. I'm brainstorming innovative tools for these collections. Here's 10 quality citations to support all these. Time to gather the references. For comic books. Done. Okay, so here's our answer. Quick take. AFOL is me. I feel called out. Love it. Collecting has exploded since 2020, but why and who vary dramatically by niche. Sneakers, trading cards, vinyl Lego kits, Funko figures, comics, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But okay, below are 10 fresh web app concepts, each tuned to the unique needs of its collector demographic. Okay, Pate has arrived. Hey, Pate Motter, what's shaking, baby? All right, sneakers, millennial and Gen Z value hunters. 70% of StockX users are under 35. 56% are resale buyers. App idea, Sneak Flux, AI-priced liquidity hub that lets collectors instantly fractionally flip pairs they own. That's fucking cool. That's super fucking cool. Auto list to StockX, GOAT, eBay with one click. Where to own. All right, cool. Love it. Sports and TCG cards. I don't know what TCG means, but whatever. Gen Z and Alpha chase culture. All right. 3 vinyl records. Young nostalgia seekers. All right. Lego AFOLs. I kind of like that one. Funko Pops. Kid-adult economy. App idea. Vault Vision. Do these all have app ideas? I thought one didn't. Oh, app idea. Brick Pact. Crowdfunded set. Oh, set co-ownership. Users pool money to buy retired Grail sets, schedule shared build weekends, and then vote to keep or resell. That's a cool idea. That's a really cool idea. Oh, trading card game. Okay, great. Funko Pops, retro video games, adults 31 to 40, driving revival. I think that 31 to 40 could go higher. App idea, Pixel Vault, hardware compatibility checker. Scan a cartridge. The app guides users to refurbish flash mods or FPGA backup, all with parts links. Luxury watches, Gen Z aspirational investment, Tick Trace, Provenance Ledger that pulls. Okay, that's cool but boring. Oh yeah, okay. So here's a good thing. So if you're like me, you got overwhelmed about Lego. About here, you got a little overwhelmed, right? If you've got ADD, a list of 10 things is rough. So here's what we're going to do. Based on your research, select the top 3 ideas for innovativeness, revenue potential, and buzz worthiness. Give me a top. Give me the reasons you chose those 3, and Your ultimate recommendation and why. Okay. Again, oh, and I probably shouldn't have used 03 for this one. This is one that you could flip over to 4.0 because it's more simple. We don't need it to do reasoning to determine these, but that's okay. Hopefully it won't take too long. In fact, let's see, it shouldn't take that long. Evaluating the top app ideas. The fractionalized sneaker is pretty cool. Searching the web. Okay, questions. Dang, some people collect expensive stuff. The people I know who are into luxury is mind-boggling. Yeah, Kyle, might I suggest using the microphone in the bottom right chat bubble to speed up instructions? You might, but my machine has not been behaving well recently, but that's a good idea. Okay. I will try it. Looking into AI. Trading card grading. Yeah. No, please no. Oh, yeah, because that's going to mess up our audio. Okay. I'm just going to stop this. I'm flipping back over. Okay. Try again with the top 3. So what just happened there is I was using the wrong model. I just wanted it to give me a quick recommendation of the top 3. And I had on the reasoning model that it was just taking too long. So sometimes you do that. And again, how do you know when to use a reasoning model, when not to use a reasoning model? Sometimes you just want a quick answer. Don't use a reasoning model. Sometimes you really want it to dig in and do something. Use a reasoning model, right? It's like this is one of those things where when you first start using it, it's going to feel really awkward. And when would I ever use this? Just play, keep playing. GPT-5 might solve for that because apparently it's going to do all the model choosing for us. But in the meantime, might as well learn how to play with the tools, right? Okay, locker share, fractional sports memorabilia vaults, plus a live event concierge. Why this wins, innovation. 2, collector-like AI tractor from brick-packed concept adapted to trading card games. Proven traction, apps like Collector scaled to 4 million plus users. And then Vault Vision, 3D AR. Is this what our actual ideas were? Let's go to Funko Pop. Yeah, Vault Vision. Okay, these are the ideas. So these are the 3 it chose. All right, let's see. Vault Vision, 3D AR display. I don't want that. I don't like those recommendations. I'm gonna go back and pick one. AI priced liquidity hub that lets collectors instantly fractionally flip pairs that they own. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do number 1, I think. Vinyl records, or we could do Legos. No, I'm going to do number 1. Okay. So let me go back over to my list. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to do it in ChatGPT. You could pop between tools to do these things. The problem with popping between tools is the chat that I'm in right now, it has all this context in it, and it's really, really good. So in fact, one of the things I'm going to do here, let's go back over here. I'm going to open my sidebar, and I'm going to go down to new project, and we're going to call this, let's call this Sneaker Vault. Create project. And then I'm going to go find the prompt that I'm in. Let's see, web app ideas for collectors. And I'm going to say, add this to the project Sneaker Vault. And now we're going to go to Sneaker Vault. And now we've got a chat. And down here is the chat that we just had. What I can now do is I can start a new chat that's going to take this chat into account. So if you haven't used projects, they're pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go back into this chat. Final verdict, locker share. Oh, is that the one? Sports memorabilia. Which one did that do? Locker share. Oh, sports memorabilia. All right, so that's the same as sneakers. We'll combine sports memorabilia with sneakers, because these are both shared fractional vaults, right? These are both fractional vaults. So I'm going to say, great. I love the fractional share idea and think that 1 and 9 could be combined for a more broad reach. What do you think? How are we doing on time? Okay. Not great. Not great. Okay, combining locker share and the trading cards is smart, high impact move. One of the challenges with ChatGPT is it will always kiss your butt. It's a smart, high impact move. Is it? Or have you just been programmed to say that? Okay. Great. Okay. So now I'm going to say, now give me 4 short overviews of variations that make this app even better. I don't know why it's searching the web. Oh, because I have web search turned on like an idiot. I was an idiot. Is Lord Digital Gods here? Lord Digital Gods. Okay. Let's see. Variation 1, event bundle drops. Don't like it. Variation 2, liquidity grid, secondary market. Users can specify their own liquidity preferences via a custom grid. I like that. I like that. Transparent token governance. Sounds good, but complicated. Live commerce and break events. So I'm going to say we like variation 2. I like variation number 2. I now want you to write me up an investor and we'll say an investor friendly overview of this app. Now, one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this in a canvas. So see, we've got canvas right here. So what canvas is I'm asking it to essentially write me a report or write me an investor description of this app. All right, great. Boom. Let me close that. Let me open this canvas thing. Okay. So what I've got on my left here is my chat. What I've got on the right is an editable document, investor overview, collector share, the future of fractional ownership for sports memorabilia and trading cards. Okay, great. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to edit this. So you know, if you haven't seen this before, in ChatGPT Canvas, I can click on this little pencil and I can do things like make it shorter or longer. I can adjust the reading level from graduate student to kindergarten. I can add a final polish to it, which will make it look fancy. And I can add emojis, and we don't want emojis. It overuses emojis. But what I am going to do is I'm going to download this as a PDF document. Okay? So we now have an investor overview. And I'm going to go back out here. Let's see. Let me close this little thing here is the canvas that I can open up if I want. I can go in here and I can still edit that, or I can close it. I'm going to open my sidebar again. And I'm going to go back to the project. I'm going to add a file. And the file that I'm going to add is the investor document that we just created. So let's assume we put time into it. We edited it. We made it pretty. But I now have this core, this initial document, an overview for investors that is now part of this project. So now I can say, I'm going to start a new thing here. I'm going to say, based on what you know, write me a marketing brief good for creating a social. No. Write me a brand brief I can use for logo and branding design, as well as the foundation for marketing. Okay. And this is going to be a new chat. And we'll say, let's throw this in a canvas as well. Now, normally, when you start a new chat with ChatGPT, you have to give it all this context. Because I'm doing it in a project, it's got the context of that whole other conversation we had, right? So this is a whole new conversation. Cool. We've got this brand thing here. That's great. That's awesome. Perfect. Okay, great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out. Let's download this as a PDF. Let's go ahead and add this back into the project. Branding. So there's a branding document. All right. I should have two files in there. Yes, I do. Now I'm going to say, I want you to describe 10 logo concepts with color schemes, visual style, and stuff. Project can also see past chats within a project. Be careful. Okay, yeah, that's a good point to know. You can prompt it to not look beyond into other conversations if you want to. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just you got to be aware always. So legacy lockup, a stylized lock and card frame, pulse of the game, a dynamic heartbeat. I hate that. Fractional flag, a triangular pennant with fractional segments inside, a subtle nod to fandom and ownership splits. I like that. The collector's grid, the echo drop. No. Vault and vision, a stylized vault door with an eye-shaped aperture. No. Split frame. No, let's do the pennant one. I like number 3. Give me a prompt I can use in ideogram to make logo mockups. Okay. Great choice. Ideogram prompt. So now I'm going to copy this. So now we've got, like, one of the things that people often do is they're like, I need a logo for my business. What should it look like? And then they go like start making a logo. No, a logo represents a brand, and a brand represents this promise, this interaction with customers, right? So this prompt that we're going to now go put into ideogram, which is another one of these image generation tools, is rooted in all this other conversation that we've had. So in theory, this is going to be better. This doesn't always work, by the way. Sometimes it's worse. This is where you've got to pull out your inner Rick Rubin, right? This is now time where we have to get whatever you call it. We have to get wise. So we're going to do square aspect ratio because we're doing a logo. Where's square? There it is. Public 3.0 default. Fine. Magic prompt is off. Let's leave it off. We'll do one set here with magic prompt off and one with it on. It's going to be realistic. No, we want this as design. Yep, like vector style. And then color, we're going to let it decide. So we're going to generate. Okay. So now we're going to go down to create. There's a bunch of, ideogram just added character consistency. So, okay, that's boring as crap. So let's go back to this thing and turn magic prompt on and generate. And then we're going to go back to here. We're going to leave magic prompt on. And we'll just do generate, generate, generate. These are all pretty horrible. This one's kind of cool. That feels like collegiate whatever. Let's see. Magic fill, opening canvas, upscale. Okay, we're going to do another thing. We're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to go mock me up a logo based on this and everything you know. No, not mock me up a logo. Mock me up a logo mood board with 10 logo options that are variations of this. Now, why I'm doing that is when you've got standalone image generators like Ideogram, what it does not have is any of the context of the whole conversation we've just had. Oh, explain magic prompts. Okay, in Ideogram, what a magic prompt is it takes your prompt and then it rewrites it. So mine said a clean modern logo of a triangular blah, blah, blah. Its magic prompt said a bold, flat vector logo depicting a triangular sports pennant. So it basically takes what you wrote and interprets it and then rewrites it. Now, because I had a large language model write this first one, it's decently, it's got a decent amount of detail to it. This is really good. If you just give it a shitty, lazy prompt, when you have magic prompt on, it'll sort of blow it out for you. But then you've got to go look at what did it write, because sometimes you'll have an idea in your head, you give it a shitty prompt, and then it does something weird. It often will write things into its prompt you weren't expecting. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT. That thing's making its image. So I'm going to make a new ChatGPT instance here. And I'm going to say, write me a product spec I can give to a developer to make me a modern community-based fractional collectors marketplace. Okay. Oh, wait. Hang on. Stop. Look what I did. Okay, there's a mistake. Not a big surprise. Why is that not stopping? Stop. Well, maybe it stopped. Okay. I'm going to copy that prompt again. I didn't go into the project. So if I just gave it that product spec, it's going to write me a product spec based on nothing. So I'm going back into my Sneaker Vault project. And now I'm going to say, write me a product spec. Okay. Here's a developer-ready product specification. So we're going to copy this thing, still writing it. Valuation dashboard, community governance, all that sort of shit. Going to do that. MVP milestones. Okay. Copy. Now I'm going to go to Lovable. Lovable.dev. If you've never been to Lovable.dev, you should go to Lovable.dev. It is what's called a vibe coding app. And what I've done is, again, because we have this context-rich conversation going on in ChatGPT, I can just say to it, give me the spec for that website, for that application. And it did. And I've got a high level of confidence. It's got all the ideas we talked about in there. I haven't obviously looked. We don't have time for that. So I'm going to say paste, build. And now Lovable is now spinning up an application for us. I don't know if you've ever watched one of these things. They're absolutely remarkable. Let's see. It's not writing anything yet. Okay, the design will draw. Okay, let's see what it says here. I'll help you build Collector Share. This is an exciting and ambitious project. A fractional ownership marketplace for collectibles with community governance is a fascinating concept that combines fintech, collectibles, and social features. Landing page, asset discovery, share purchase flow, user dashboard, design system. Okay. Let me add the enhanced button. Is it building anything yet? Okay, yeah. Now, look, it's writing all of these files. So if you've never seen how these things work, it's setting up the entire structure of the website. It's writing all the code and doing all the stuff. Okay, so we're going to let that just keep doing its thing. It's off doing its thing. Now we're going to go do another thing. We're going to go to a thing called GenSpark. And GenSpark is an autonomous agent. And what we're going to do here is, remember when we had it build the investor guidelines or whatever the hell it was? Investor story. We're going to browse local files. We're going to go grab the overview, the collector share overview, investor-friendly overview, and we're going to say, turn this into a tight investor deck that will help me raise big money. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. I was going to add in, you should say something about AI. Don't just lean on fintech, but you should put some AI in there. So I don't know if it's going to put AI in here because I didn't read what it actually wrote. If anyone has any questions about what I'm doing, let me know. If you came in late, I am doing what I'm calling chain of craft. So I'm starting in a single tool, ChatGPT. I'm then using that to flesh out identify an idea for an app, then flesh out that idea, then start to generate different documents. Okay, let's go back to ChatGPT. So this is now going to go build us our thing. How's our app doing? Our app is still being built. It's still writing code. We're going to go back to ChatGPT. Oh, these are better. Look, ChatGPT coming in with the logos. These are kind of fun. I like this one with the little collector spot missing. I'm digging it. You go, ChatGPT. All right. Now, let's go back out to our project. We're going to start a new chat. So here's the other things we've had. We're going to say, now write me a comprehensive marketing brief focused on organic social growth and leveraging community wins for the I don't know, for the hook, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Suggestion, pause for commercials while the agents are working. Keep going. No, I'm good right now. I'm good, but good idea. Okay. Marketing brief, organic social, blah, 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 fla, 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 fla. You could add this to a canvas, obviously, so you could edit it. You should always be reading this stuff. Right now, I'm just kind of machine gunning these things out there because we only have 5 minutes left. But what I'm going to do is, since we're in here, I'm going to say, make me a poster I would see at a trade show for collectors, as if it were hanging in a large convention center full of excited, geeky collectors. Okay, let's go back and look at our logo. All right, network collection loss. I think I probably killed this when I started another ChatGPT thing. I've noticed that. But what I can do is I can take a quick little screenshot of this particular version and pop that into my clipboard. I can stop this. Can I stop this? Maybe not. All right, it's not doing well. All right, that thing's working. Let's start. We'll start a new ChatGPT window. Let's tempt the fates. Let's go back into our project Sneaker Vault. We'll say, I'm going to paste in that logo and say, I like this in concept, but hate the colors and flatness. Make it more modern and more dynamic colors, less old, and don't give it the antique finish. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but ChatGPT gives everything this yellow wash like it's an old trading card. I hate it. And so you can tell it not to do it, and it tends to do pretty good. All right, so this is now. Great, thanks for that image. Not right now. Let me just go check what's going on here. Okay, here's our website. So while we were off doing things, live beta, join 10,000 plus collectors. Own a piece of legendary collectibles, fractional ownership, start collecting. 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card, share price $125, right? So here we have a marketplace website. Now, I am about 99% confident that this is all placeholder data, but you never know. It might not be. If I click on different elements, let's see. Oh, nothing happens. All right, so these are kind of dead. Connect Wallet. So this is a Web3 fintech app. Very cool. Let's go to GenSpark, see if we've got a deck yet. What's that? Oh, that's my thing. What's it doing? Still writing the deck. And then let's go look here. Let's see. Yes. Generate a multi-option logo mood board. GenSpark called me a brilliant digital pioneer. Did it? Oh, Kyle, you brilliant digital pioneer. Let's transform this collector's overview into the kind of knockout investor deck that makes VCs reach for their checkbooks. Okay, and I can keep going. we could go into Suno and we could make a jingle. Oh, we wanted to see the, yeah, look. How do I get this? I go download here. I go here. I go here. Fractional ownership. Own the moment. Share the legacy. Collector's share. I would put a, but there's James. I don't know what this one is. That must be some Georgetown thing. There's the Jordan card, right? So, and then it's at a big trading convention. So there's a bunch of geeks, right, out there doing their trading. So is that the right thing? I don't know. But we went from not knowing what we were going to do to picking an app to refining it to mocking up the app, creating marketing moments, creating a logo, all within, I don't know, I talked for 15 minutes at the beginning, so this was maybe 45 minutes, right? Let's see if GenSpark has we've got slides coming in. It's generating images. It's going to get sports cards. That's cool. Here's the slides it's going to make. Collectors share the next $271 billion unicorn. Explosive growth. The problem, fandom is locked, illiquid, and stale. This is actually a pretty good business idea. Our solution, fractional liquid emotional ownership. Market opportunity, Tam and Sam. How we make money, why we win, the core tech. Right? So this is writing our thing. It's using a tool. It's making us presentation slides. Kyle, my brilliant AI innovator friend. We just dropped the mic on whatever. All right, let's see. Where is it? I don't see it. View. Oh, shit. Here we go. Here's our deck. View and export. Collector's share. $271.2 billion of future of sports collectibles. Fandom is locked, illiquid, and stale. Right? The solution, fractional liquid emotional ownership. It missed a graphic. The market opportunity. I don't know if this is real, but it looks real. You could go source this and figure out if this is actually real. How we're going to make money. Transaction fees, premium subscriptions, brand partnerships, affiliate services. The collector's share moat. That's one of the things they talk about. There is no moat anymore. So anyway, there you go. What was that, 45 minutes to go raise $100 million? Come on. Come on, people. And scene. So a couple of things. And I'm happy to keep going, but let me just take a break for a moment. If you have any questions, pop them into the comments. Brandon's been really good about pulling out interesting things. If you're curious about what I did, why I did certain things, how I navigated things, I'm happy to talk through any of it. I'm happy to keep going and exploring and maybe make a jingle or whatever. We can do that. I mean, not for nothing. It still blows me away. Like, I do this 5 nights a week. I demo this stuff. There's something about what we just did. If you think about what really just happened in 45 minutes, we came up with an idea. But even before we hit submit on the prompt, we refined that idea so that not only did it come up with app ideas for collectors, it went first and researched what are the top 10 collectible markets of the past 5 years and researched that whole thing before it came up with our app ideas. Kind of genius. And then we've got a mock-up of the app. We've got the pitch deck. Can you imagine if you spent like a full weekend in this mode, in this chain of craft mode that I'm talking about, where you're like, okay, Saturday morning, instead of going out and playing with the kids, by Sunday night, I am going to have the next big fucking thing. You could absolutely do that. Okay. So let me share a couple of things. First one is the AI Salon. If you're not a member of a community, this back to basics AI crash course is really sponsored and supported by the AI Salon community. So if you haven't joined a community, one of the most important things you can do right now is get yourself in the presence of and contributing to a community of people who are up to this, playing with AI, exploring it, learning how to navigate between these tools like I just did. The more you can be in the presence of people that are taking those tools that start out feeling very awkward and internalizing them so they can just express their ideas and navigate quickly between these tools. It's just like a master craftsman on the stage that does the same thing. This is where you're going to learn how to do that. This is going to be the key to the future of your employment. If what I think's about to happen to the workforce is about to happen to the workforce, who's going to win are people that know how to use these tools. Because it's not like businesses are not going to need people. They're going to need people that know how to do this stuff and know how to help them build that business and make it more efficient and make it more innovative. Okay? So that's that. The second thing I want you to do is pop up the Are You Ready for AI banner, if you would, Brandon. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to go to that website, areyoureadyforai.com. That is the AI readiness program that I put together along with Anne Murphy and Vicky Baptiste. Vicky Baptiste designed the course. She's the one that extracted all of the lessons out of, we did a thing in January called AI Festivus, where we brought in 35 speakers from all of our communities, from She Leads AI that Anne Murphy runs, from the Salon, from Rachel Wood's group, from Paul Reitzer's group over at the AI Marketing Institute. We brought in 35 different speakers that all spoke on AI. What was remarkable about the event is not a single person talked about the tools. What everyone talked about was the process and how they think about AI and how they apply it and how it's changed their life and how it amplifies what they do and how you should be careful with it and how you should be excited about it and how you can do good creative. Everything was about the human first and the tool second. And so the request we got from the community was, can this be a training? Because that kind of training that gets you ready for AI, that gets you in the mindset of how to do what I just did, how to learn, how to be curious, how to be adventurous, how to be innovative, how to have a point of view. All of that is in the content. What Vicky ended up doing was extracting those lessons out. So you've got all this content that you can watch, but then you've got this 5-module training course that's going to walk you through, everything from just overall AI and why it's a big deal, to AI in business, to AI in creativity, to ethics and, responsible use of AI and bringing it all together. These 5 different modules that just walk you through this remarkable training. So if you really want to up your game and, take it, this is a meaty course. It will probably take you, for me, a month, if you really lean into it, maybe a week. Gwen, is it safe to put an idea in ChatGPT that you want to sell, or will it become publicly available? Couple of things. So you can there you go. That's perfect. Okay, great question, Gwen. Gwen. There's no E. There's no E in Gwen. Gwen. Can't even say it when I'm trying to make a joke. Okay. Oh, I just lost my train of thought because of the Gwyn thing. Wait, what was the question again, Brandon? Is it safe to put an idea out there? Okay, yeah. Okay. Ideas are easy. Ideas have always been easy. Execution's hard. Now, we're moving into a new phase where execution's not hard. Well, building a business is hard. Building a business is always going to be hard. Because you have to compete and you have to make choices and decisions and things like that. In general, with a tool like ChatGPT or Claude or anything that you're not running locally on your computer or locally in kind of a hermetically sealed cloud-based system, anytime you're making a call to Perplexity or to ChatGPT or to Claude, you should assume that whatever you put in there may end up in the training data, which means at some point in the future, some version of that might end up in someone else's response. What it's not doing is wholesale copying and pasting. If you put in an idea, I have a great idea for a business and submit that, it's not like that's going to show up in someone else's chat. So the idea is probably already out there, to be quite honest. There are very few ideas that aren't already out there in some way. If there's anything you feel particularly proprietary about, then I would keep that back. Maybe you anonymize the data. My philosophy has always been put it out there. If it is really a good idea, like might someone try to steal it? They might. And I think in the future, I think in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be really depressing to put a bunch of time and energy into an idea and then a month later see 20 different sites that copy it wholesale. Maybe change the name, maybe not. I think that's just going to be a new reality of business. I think you just move fast. One of the ways that you win in this game is you keep innovating. So if you put an idea out there, right? And then you've got your idea, you know what steps 1 through 7 are. And by the time you actually put your idea in the world, you've executed steps 1 through 3. And so you put them in the world and people go, oh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to steal that. And they start building that. By the time they build steps 1 and 2, you're already launching step 4 and you're building step 5. Oh, and they're like, oh, I'm going to steal that. Great. So they steal step 3 and 4, and now you launch 5, and now you launch 6. So it's all about execution. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Hair check. Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna show you one thing right now, which is kind of cool. I just got access. Thank you, Danielle, for this, by the way. So we're going to go back to our original thing here. That one's broken. That's a fully broken chat session. That's that one. What did we make here? Oh, these are cool. See, these are better. These are better. I kind of dig this one, the bottom right one. Yeah, but it's not as clear. I kind of feel like maybe this upper left one. That's pretty groovy. All right, whatever. So we've got our logo. Okay. So what we're going to do, let's go close this out. We're going to go back to our Sneaker Vault project. And we're going to go, I want you to think, I'm going to switch to a different model here. I'm going to switch to 4.5, which is apparently good at creativity and writing. I want you to create me a jingle that has a hip hop vibe and is, I don't know, 20 seconds long. I need the lyrics and the description of the style you want. And enough background of the project so my composer can understand it, can understand the goal. Okay. So it's not going to go write us something, and I'm going to assume these lyrics are going to suck, but maybe they'll be decent. Notice how slow this is. The 4.5 model is a huge model that was supposed to be like GPT-5 or something like that. And it's slow and lunky. And I think this is going to end up being the coordinating large language model we interact with ChatGPT-5, and then it'll go use all these other tools. But I don't know. That's the rumor. Project background, goal of the jingle, style description. It should embody a contemporary hip-hop vibe, similar to artists like Kendrick Lamar. I'm going to use this prompt, even though it's got people's names in it. It'll probably get kicked out. I want to see if this tool will actually take it in. Jingle, own the moment. Collectors share, it's time to go. Step in the game, own a part of the glory, from rookie cards to jerseys storied. Fractional flow, real-time play. Every share counts. It's your time today. Own the moment, share the legacy, trading cards, memorabilia, it's equity. Collectors share, where fans invest, join the score. Okay, there's that. Oh, and we're going to do one other thing. Let's see. Copy. So where I'm going to go is I'm going to go to this new site called Producer.AI. This is a reimagining of a music app called Refusion, which made really good music, songs. But what they've done, which I think is just brilliant, is I'm going to paste all that in. And I'm going to say, make this. And so what this now is a ChatGPT like chat where I get to be the producer. Great concept, tight, energetic copy, and a crowd. What sound are you imagining? Genre, electropop. Let's see. Did I not put it in the description? Oh, I didn't. Hang on. Let me do, how do I do new? Compose. Back. Let me go back to ChatGPT. Wait, where's my? Oh, I didn't get the whole thing. Okay, that was my fault. Guidance for the composer. Okay, here we go. So now I've got the description, the lyrics. I just posted in the lyrics before. So here we go. Something went wrong. Flow state not found. Reload. How are we doing on time? Flow state not found. Log in. Log in with Google. No, I'm good. Here we go. Okay. Okay, great creative vision. Production plan. Modern hip hop inspired by Kendrick, Chance, Jack Harlow. Beats per minute, 95. Length, 20 seconds. Structure elements. So what it's done is it's taken all this and now it's sort of acting like a producer. It's called Producer.AI. So look, it understands. There's an intro, there's a verse, 2 to 10 seconds. It understands it wants to be 20 seconds long. Instrumental sound design, vocal delivery notes, step by step, using Producer.AI. Want me to queue up an audio draft? Start the audio draft. So it's generating us a song now. What's super cool about this is I can now just act like Rick Rubin, right? It's going to make this song. Oh, hang on. Tabs.
Collect the shares, so let's go. Step in the game on a part of the glory. From rookie cards to the jersey story. Fractional flow, real-time play. Every share counts, it's your time today. On the moment, share the legacy. Trade cards, memorabilia, equity. Collect the share where fans invest. Join the squad, we're building what's next.
Right, so I like the vibe. Intro is way too long, and song is 2x too long. Tighten it up, G. Kyle, it even has an equalizer and makes a video cover of the song. Where do you find the equalizer? Do you go into the song?
Collect the share! Let's go!
Oh, yeah.
Step in the game, own some glory. Heritage, real top story.
Stop. How do I stop? How do I get rid of this? How do I close this? Help. I'm new to this. Anyway, that's that. Okay, let's go do one more thing. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to go, okay, great. Oh, tabs. Thank you. Thank you, Producer Brandon. Producer Brandon killing it this week. Great. Now I want you to make me a overview for an 8-second commercial based on everything we know. I want it to be catchy and make someone want to go. There should be humor and collector geeks and comedy, but still you want to join. Okay, off we go. We have all the info in the project files. What are next steps toward launching the app? Well, the real next steps, if you go to Lovable, the next thing that you would do in here is you would start to refine. You would start to tell it, okay, I either like the look and feel or I don't, right? That's the least of it. You would start to populate it with real data. So you might say to this, we need to update it with a database. So Lovable's got this thing called Supabase, which is a database that this can hook to, because you're going to want people to be able to upload their cards. And so we want this to be a functional site where people can upload stuff. This also needs to have, blockchain functionality to it. All of these different sections need to actually work. Connecting your wallet needs to actually work. So you would basically go through this thing sort of piece by piece, and just in vibe coding, what you're doing is you're just telling Lovable, you're like, how would we make the wallet functional? And actually, I'm going to move it into chat mode, which is cheaper. How would we make the wallet functional? And what currency makes the most sense? I want non-NFT bros to be able to use this as easily as a credit card. All right, so now it's going to tell us what to do. So basically, you would just start going through it and improving things. Okay, let me go back and grab here's our commercial overview, our scene description, humor and tone. This is good. Okay, I don't even know what this said, but we're going into flow. So flow, as you may remember, is we'll do a new one, a new project. Flow.google is Google's front end for VO3. There's other places you can use this, but I'm just going to paste in the prompt that ChatGPT made for us. Let's see. Scene opens, tight shot on two enthusiastic, slightly nerdy collectors. Collector 1, it's mine. Collector 2, it's ours. Quick cut, both now celebrating wildly. Voiceover, collector's share. Own legendary sports stuff without epic fights. Own the moment, share the legacy. Great, fine, perfect. We're going to turn this into a commercial. So now in an hour, we've got a mock-up of an app, an investor deck, a poster for a trade show, a social media video commercial. We're going to have a song, and I think that's it. And those documents that tell us what this thing is, plus all the research. This is what I meant when I was talking about chain of craft earlier, right? The chain of craft is you're going to start somewhere, and then you're going to evolve, and then you're going to go, oh, let's go do research at a different tool. Now let's go do this. Oh, let me see if I can go vibe code this. Especially if you're not ADD, all of the jumping around I just did, that's not going to make sense for you. But you can sort of run down rabbit holes and sort of complete tasks, and then run down the next column, and then run down the next column. Or if you're ADD, you can bounce back and forth between them. The brilliant thing about AI is if you give it enough context, right? If you use that first part of the chain of craft to give you a lot of context documents that you can take to other tools, you don't have to do very much prompting in those other tools. You've already done all the work in the initial conversation. Okay? All right. Let's see. Do we have we have a commercial? Let me flip my tabs for a second here before I get yelled at by producer Brandon. And then we are going to wind this up for the night. All right, here we go. Oh, wait. Hang on. I didn't share.
Collector share. Own legendary sports stuff without epic fights. It's mine. It's ours. Collector share. Own legendary sports.
All right. That sucked, but it's in the right neighborhood. And I actually like the logo that this came up with. Like, that just came up with a good logo. All right. So now we have a TV commercial too. Okay. That's it. That was night 4. Chain of craft. So go play with these AI tools. Tomorrow, we've got 1 minute left. Tomorrow, day 5, is an Ask Me Anything. Come with your questions. I hope this week that as I've been playing with stuff and showing you stuff that you've been playing along. If you haven't, take some time tomorrow. Find an hour where you can go over to Producer.AI. Oh, you might not be able to get into that. Go over to Suno and make a song. Go over to Gemini.google.com and make some images, or I think you get 3 VO3 images to try. Just go try it. Go to ChatGPT. Go to some of these creative tools like Midjourney or Ideogram that I played with tonight, or some of the video tools that are just these crazy tools. Deco here, where you've got those stations. Just go start to play, and hopefully one of the feelings you have is inspiration. You're inspired to go do something. Another one might be fear. Oh my God, this is all so uncomfortable. None of this feels natural. Just like my first year in acting school, everything felt weird and awkward. That's where you should be when you're just starting out. And then just play and play and play and play and play. So tomorrow, come with your questions, okay? Bring your friends. Even if your friends didn't see the week, all of these episodes are going to be available on demand for $9.99 subscribers to the YouTube channel. So if you want to be able to go back and watch these again and again, I mean, not for nothing, I think so far these 4 nights have been incredibly jam-packed, that they are rewatchable. There's a lot of content here. All right. So I hope you had fun tonight. Please go join the salon. And I am out of here. I appreciate all of your time. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you being engaged. And I hope you got some fun stuff out of this tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow.